So now you guys are official. Are you guys living together at that point or just dating?
Absolutely not living together. Absolutely not. Okay. Clarissa has a property, her own home, and then she has other numerous properties. And I have my own property and my own places of residence as well.
Right. Well, I think at one point she kind of flashed a diamond ring, so people were thinking, "Oh, are you guys engaged?" But I guess she said no.
No. We have bought each other gifts for different holidays. I bought nice gifts for Valentine's Day, so we exchanged numerous gifts, but never a ring.
All right, YouTube family, settle in for this one, because what happened this weekend was not your average drama. This was the kind of situation that gets more complicated the deeper you go, and it crept up on everyone quietly before suddenly becoming all anyone could talk about. So here's what went down. Remy dropped that diss track with absolutely zero notice. No teaser, no announcement, no countdown.
Okay, y'all, I just came across Remy Ma new diss song for Pap and Clarissa Shields. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a 10 out of 10. Sis ate, she ate. I feel like she needed that to up her career right now. The show, she still got bars, so I ain't gonna lie, she went from bar to bar in that song. You feel me? We ain't gonna act like she ain't eat on the song, but we not gonna act like it's gonna make us not rock with Clarissa Shields. Period. I'm from Detroit all the way. We love her here. We love her here. I'm still rocking with my girl Clarissa Shields. And it's crazy because they both boss women. Boss women. Why is we into it over these dudes, bro? You feel me? They both get into the bag. They both winning right now, period. I feel like they both got two different crafts. It's like apples and oranges. She rap, she's a professional boxer. Two different crafts. And Clarissa got bars to some degree. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna love my girl down. She's still the GOAT out here. Detroit, we standing behind Clarissa Shields. Remy, you ate. But we still rocking with Clarissa Shields over here. Period.
She just released it and stepped back like she already knew exactly what kind of reaction it was going to trigger. And that is precisely what made it so powerful, because when something lands completely out of nowhere like that, the internet responds the way it always does. It starts pulling threads. And once people started pulling, things began unraveling fast for Clarissa Shields and Papoose. In the beginning, it did not feel like a massive deal. Just another diss, another moment that would probably blow over. But this one carried something different. It was not only about the lyrics themselves. It was about what those lyrics pushed people to go back and revisit. That interview. Suddenly everyone was watching it again, replaying it slowly, picking apart every single word and every pause in between. Things that had seemed perfectly ordinary before were now giving people a strange feeling, like certain pieces simply were not lining up the way they should. And while all of that noise was building online, Clarissa was overseas in the UK taking care of business. But even that became a talking point, because the question people could not stop asking was straightforward. Where's Papoose? He was not with her. Not overseas, not by her side, not anywhere nearby. He was back in New York, just existing there on his own. At first, people tried to shrug it off and avoid reading too deeply into it. But the more everything else started surfacing, the harder it became to look the other way, because at that point it stopped being about physical distance and started being about what that distance represented alongside everything else. Then someone brought up the detail from that interview where he admitted they do not even live together. Take a moment and really sit with that. There is this highly public relationship, this carefully constructed image of a power couple, and then it comes out that they do not even share the same space. That alone made people raise their eyebrows because it did not line up with the picture that had been presented. And once that kind of doubt takes root, it does not quietly disappear. It expands. So now the internet had its full attention locked on everything. Every post, every move, every seemingly minor detail was being examined. And for the first time, it started feeling like people were getting a glimpse behind the curtain, like the version of this relationship that had been shown publicly might not actually reflect what was happening in reality. And then came the moment that truly made people stop and say, wait a minute. Because during that interview, when the subject of the relationship timeline came up, Papoose described things in a way that completely contradicted what Clarissa had apparently understood. He essentially suggested they were not even together during a period when Clarissa believed they were. Two completely different versions of the exact same relationship. And that is not a minor inconsistency. That is the kind of thing that rewrites the entire story, because now people are not just questioning the relationship itself, they are questioning the truth underneath it. And if you can imagine sitting there and watching someone you are involved with publicly describe your situation in a way that does not match what you thought it was, that is not just uncomfortable. That is humiliating. And the internet does not ease up when it senses that kind of vulnerability. It zooms in harder. So now people are taking everything, the distance, the separate living arrangements, the conflicting timelines, and stitching it all together. And the picture that starts forming is no longer the image of a strong, unified couple. It starts looking like something much more lopsided. And right around that moment, the reactions started flooding in. Not just from random commenters, but from voices that actually carry weight online. And when that happens, it stops being internet gossip and becomes full public opinion. At that stage, it is no longer a rumor. It is a conversation, and a loud one. Clarissa and Papoose are sitting right in the center of it with no way to control the message and no filter between themselves and the reaction coming at them from every direction. That kind of pressure accelerates quickly, because once the internet settles on a story, it moves with it fast. And the story forming around them was not flattering. It was starting to sound like the investment was unequal, like she was more emotionally committed than he was. And regardless of whether that is actually true, once people decide to believe something, it becomes the lens through which they see everything else. That is exactly where things took a sharp turn. Because now the conversation was no longer just about what was said. It was about what people had decided it all meant. And that is where the real damage begins to set in. Once the internet locks onto a narrative, it does not release it. It feeds it. And the narrative this time was ruthless. He is just not that into her. That one idea flipped everything on its head. Every clip, every post, every appearance together suddenly looked different under that light. Then came the jokes. And once the jokes start circulating on the timeline, it is essentially over. They snowball into trends, and those trends harden into the kind of stories people repeat as if they were facts. Nicknames started getting thrown around. Bold assumptions were being made by people acting like they had been personally present inside the relationship. Some people treated it as entertainment, but a growing number were genuinely convinced they were watching something real unravel. It felt like the internet had already written the ending and handed it in. Now picture being trapped in that spotlight while thousands of people pick through your personal life in real time. That level of public pressure does not just sit there quietly. It forces a reaction. And that is when Papoose suddenly became very visible online. Not just visible, but deliberate about it. One moment things had been low-key, calm, almost distant, with very little being shared publicly. Then all of a sudden he was posting about her constantly. Photos, video clips, old memories, romantic audio underneath it all. On the surface, someone might interpret that as genuine affection. A man showing up for his partner and reminding the world what they share. But the timing of it is what made people hesitate, because none of this happened during a calm, unbothered period. It happened directly after that interview started getting torn apart. It happened right after the diss track flipped everything upside down. It happened right after the internet began questioning everything about them. And when actions arrive immediately behind pressure, they do not feel organic. They feel reactive. They feel like a response to something, and people recognized it instantly. The first post dropped, a romantic photo, soft energy, the full presentation. But instead of warmth, it generated questions. Why now? Why this? Why does it feel hurried? Because genuine love does not need to be rushed onto a timeline to prove itself. Authentic connection shows through consistency and through the small things done without an audience watching. But this felt like something that needed to be established quickly, like a statement being issued more than a moment being shared. The internet felt that immediately. Then the videos came, old footage edited and packaged together like a recycled highlight reel. Rather than changing the narrative, it pushed things further in the wrong direction. Now it looked rehearsed, performative, and the moment something starts reading as staged, people disengage from it entirely and stop accepting it at face value. But then things got even more complicated. Some of those posts disappeared. They went up and then quietly came down. And that shift carried weight, because posting aggressively is one thing, but deleting suggests that something shifted behind the scenes between the posting and the removing. Now people were asking what had changed. What happened in between that caused the content to vanish? And while all of that was developing, people also went back and looked at what his page looked like before any of this drama kicked off. The contrast was stark. Before the pressure arrived, it was all solo content. Him alone, relaxed, at ease, projecting an unbothered kind of confidence with absolutely no indication of any romantic relationship being part of his public presence. No emotional connection being displayed, nothing suggesting he was in something serious. Then the heat arrived and suddenly everything became about her. That switch did not go unnoticed. Because when someone is consistent, that consistency tells its own story. And the second that consistency breaks, people feel it and they start asking why. That is the point where this moved from simply messy to genuinely uncomfortable, because now it was not just about opinions and interpretations. It was about specific actions being taken in real time. And those actions were not helping the situation. If anything, they were deepening it. Stack everything on top of each other. The diss track, the interview, the public reactions, the social media chaos. And what you get is a picture that is very difficult to dismiss. And the remarkable part is that all of it traces back to a single moment. One song, one clip. That was enough to start fracturing an image that had looked polished and controlled. And now that the cracks are visible, the internet is not going to stop examining them. Whether or not everything people believe is accurate does not fully matter at this stage, because perception has taken the wheel. And right now perception is not working in their favor. Every new post gets analyzed against the backdrop of everything that already happened. Every silence feels like it is hiding something. Every move feels loaded with meaning. And that kind of relentless scrutiny is nearly impossible to escape once it gets going. What stands out most through all of this is how much timing matters. None of these events happened in isolation. They stacked on top of each other in quick succession, almost like one trigger setting off the next. The diss track launches everything. The interview gives people something to question. The internet amplifies the reaction. The posts go up, then some of the posts come down. And now here we all are watching the whole thing play out in real time. The question people keep landing on is a simple one. What is actually real here? Because when the image being projected and the actions being taken do not match, people stop waiting for an explanation and just decide for themselves what they believe. And right now a large portion of people have landed on the same conclusion. This relationship may not be what it was presented as. It may have always been more about maintaining an image than reflecting something genuine. And that is not a label that goes away easily. Even if an explanation eventually comes, the doubt does not fully leave. It stays in the background and resurfaces the moment anything new happens. And honestly, this does not feel anywhere close to finished. It has the energy of something that is still in the middle of unfolding. These situations rarely just dissolve quietly. They either get addressed head-on in a way that actually shifts the conversation, or they keep developing in directions nobody anticipated. Based on everything we have watched so far, there is almost certainly more ahead. More posts, more reactions, possibly something that catches everyone completely off guard. One thing is not up for debate: this story is not over. So where do you stand on it? Is this genuine damage control in motion, or is the whole thing just one massive misunderstanding?